Yeah, check 1 2, check 1 2. Is this mic on? Is this mic on? Hey, listen, man, it's the one and only trendsetter DJ Sense, and you're listening to Cocktails, Dirty Discussions with Kiki and Medina Monroe. Yeah.
Today's cocktail is called New. So the ingredients you need is 1 lime. You want to cut it in half and slice it into wedges. 1 teaspoon of sugar, 6 mint leaves for garnish, some apple juice, and almond extract, and some sparkling water. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to use the end of a rolling pin to muddle the lime wedges with sugar in a highball glass. Add the mint leaves and lightly muddle again. Fill the glass with ice and pour over the fruit juice and almond extract. Stir, then top with sparkling water and garnish with more mint leaves. If you notice, that is a mocktail. If you wanted to add alcohol in it, a good alcohol for that drink would be rum because it's similar to a mojito. But I haven't been drinking right now, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a mocktail. No alcohol in that, but you have the option to add some if you'd like. Hey,
girl. Welcome back to Cocktails, Dirty Discussions, you guys. How have you been?
Hey,
I feel like it's been like about a month since we've actually had to record. Well, I guess it hasn't really been a month, but that's how long it feels.
Oh, I was like, wait, what?
Because we recorded all of those episodes and we haven't recorded in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You guys have already celebrated New Year's. We all have, but this is our first time sitting down and recording since the New Year.
What has happened? What's been going on?
Girl, I went home for a minute. I felt like I was home for a month. So when I went home for Christmas, I went home on a couple days before Christmas, and I already knew that I was going to stay for my dad's birthday because his birthday's on the 3rd. I literally had the time of my life at home. This was just a Christmas to remember. My brother and his girl weren't going to come at first because they were planning on going on a hike. So glad they didn't because she's pregnant. So it ended up getting canceled because of Corona stuff. Like the place, their paths were shut down or something. So everybody was home for Christmas. My sister was home. Her husband came. It was just everybody was just in great spirits. Nobody had like bad news. You know, sometimes when a lot of family gets together, there's always, maybe sometimes one person maybe has some bad news or you're just not in a good space. And it just wasn't any of that. Everybody was just genuinely so happy to be home for Christmas because that time that we normally spend together has been limited due to COVID. So we played games. We watched so many movies. It was just such a great time. I wanted my sister to stay longer with me. They ended up leaving earlier. I was like, I'm staying through Dad's birthday. I need more family time because it's like a reset. When I go home, it's this great reset. Cooking with my dad, healthy stuff. Like, me and my dad was doing cold plunges. I don't know if y'all know who Wim Hof is, but he does these ice plunges every morning, and my dad does it. And he was just so excited that I decided to do this with him because ain't nobody gonna be jumping in water in the middle of the winters.
Right.
That's just not gonna happen. So I did it with him every morning that I was there. So it was great. I really got to connect and spend quality time with my family. I asked my sister to stay longer, right? And she was like, okay. She was like, maybe I will. She was miserably pregnant. And my mom, her baby wasn't due until the 18th, bro. The 18th. And my mom had kept saying, the baby's going to come early because you're so miserable. And when women start feeling like that, the baby's coming. Girl, my mom was like, you're not staying longer. You have a doctor's appointment on Wednesday. Do you know that baby came? That baby came on New Year's Eve. Her water broke on the 30th. And the baby was born at 10:47 in the morning on New Year's Eve. And I was like, Mecca, before everything kicks in and you're going, the epidural kicks in and you don't remember and you don't even notice that we're there in the room with you through phone. Will you please set your phone up somewhere, make sure it's charged so we can be there for the experience? Because had COVID not played a part in this, I would have been in the room. And so me, my mom, my dad were on my phone, my sister-in-law and her husband were on the other phone, and we got to watch the whole birthing process on FaceTime. And I mean, it was, girl, when I tell you I was crying, I don't know how you felt when Mallory had her baby, her first child, but it is just something about going from like sisters to friends to then seeing each other grow into the people that you grow to be, and then watching your sister become a mom. The amount of emotions that I was feeling, I just have never felt that way before. It was just so much joy and happiness, and like nothing else mattered. Like and she's a little girl. Like, I'm just like, I cannot wait to make up dances with her and teach her all the Disney songs. So then after that, me and my mom and my dad, we packed up and drove to Oklahoma City and stayed out there and helped her. And it's just like I'm just on a high right now. I feel so good about 2021. It ended on a very high note. And I just feel open and excited. Happy New Year, Kiki. How was your break?
Mine was not nearly as exciting. I did get to go see some family. There was sad news with my family, so it wasn't as exciting. But it was really good. I ended up not being able to, I chose not to go to Louisiana because I was like, there were other family members that I had who had gotten COVID, like on Christmas or like days leading up to Christmas, and they're hospitalized and all of that. And I'm like, I'm already risking it traveling. I don't want to go see my grandparents and then get them sick possibly. Like, I would just die. So I was like, we're just gonna have to FaceTime you. So I didn't get to see them, but I did get to spend time with my siblings. I got to spend some time with my mom, my stepdad, my nieces, and I love hanging out with them. Like, it's just, I get what you're saying about just being excited about watching your sister become a mother, and then like just you can't wait to do all of those things with your nieces. That's the kind of stuff I love doing, and it is like a reset. It does feel good. So I just had a good break, and it was nice to like not have as much work responsibility for like 2 weeks, I guess I would say. I just didn't have that much to do. I could really relax. I was able to like be there and really spend time with my family. I got to spend time with friends. It's just been a good time. Yes. I got my new bed that I've been waiting on. Ooh. That plus some sleep. It's just so lovely. I just love it.
I got one chilling on the ice right now. I'm doing the no sugar thing. So I'm doing the no sugar, some sleep. And
wait, what no sugar thing? Or you're just cutting it out for a while?
Yeah, for 20 days. So I'm going to obviously cut out what is obviously sugar, but trying to also, I've been looking up things that turn into sugar that people maybe don't know, like breads and grains. It turns into sugar, and then it turns into brown fats that you can't get that fat off. So I've just been trying to, like, whenever I go home and talk to my dad, I always come back on this super health tip because that's how he is, and it's inspiring.
That's good.
But you mentioned something, and I was going to make a comment. Being home and not having to do anything, not having to do as much. I felt, and people be thinking I'm lying. When I get home, I'm not talking to you about nothing. Like, I'm with my family. There were people trying to hang out, go to New Year's parties. I was like, you guys, I'm at home with my family. I'm not worried about no friend right now. I'm not worried about no niggas. I am spending quality time with this family. So that did feel good. Turning phones off and just like, I don't want to hear no drama, no nothing. Woo, woo.
I just feel so good. I've been waiting for a new year. I really hope that this one is going to be better than the last, because the last one was shaky. Good and bad for different reasons. But this week, you guys, we wanted to talk to you and kind of update you on where we are and who we really are right now. So we're going to play a game of I'm Curious to Know, and then we'll keep telling y'all what's been on our minds. Okay, so I'm curious to know, what's the longest you've gone without sex?
I have gone, it was between 7 and 8 months. And it was actually the last year that Carlos and I were together. We were not. When I tell you there was no sex, and that's why I remember it so precisely, because he was like, I don't remember. He used to be like, you host a whole sex podcast and we're not having sex. And I was like, well, because I don't like you. Like, it was just it was when we were at our worst, and we were sleeping in separate rooms. I wasn't having no sex, and I wanted it. It wasn't like I wasn't.
You just didn't
having
want
sex
it with him.
Right. That's probably why I went through a whole second hoe phase. I'm curious to know, what has a man done to make you feel insecure, and how did you cope?
He had too many women around. Like, I felt like, why is it not enough for me to just be here? Like, why do you need 50 different bitches who kind of all look like me? Like, what is going on? What are you missing? How did I cope? I didn't really cope with that very well. I'm still working on it. I'm a work in progress.
We all are, girl.
Okay. I'm curious to know, when was the last time you took yourself on a nice date? And what did you do?
I think that's such a... Okay. That is such a great question because it was literally last night. When I got back into Atlanta, I really didn't want to come back. So I was feeling a little bit down about it. And so I told myself yesterday I had some things to catch up on. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take myself on a date. So I went and I got a pedicure before I had to go to work. And I was going to get my nails done, but the lady was making me nervous and it was a new spot. So then later on in the evening, I was like, well, you know what? I live in an area where you can walk most of the places. So I was like, I'm going to go walk to a new nail shop that someone suggested on Instagram. Shout out to Tiana. Thank you. And I went over to the nail place. I got a manicure and got my nails done. And after that, I was feeling really good. Had some water. I walked over to the Palm. I was going to go to Del Frisco's because I was going to go to Ruth's Chris. I was going to go there, but they didn't have room at the bar. So I was like, you know, it's cool. I'll walk somewhere else. So I walked over to the Palm at the West End. I've stayed at the West End, but I never ate there. Sat at the bar. I asked the lady if she could give me some sparkling water with a lime in a martini glass. And I ordered a really nice dinner just for myself, and I had a really good time. It was so good that, like, someone sent me a drink, and I was like, I'm going to kindly send this back. I'm not drinking. I didn't tell them the reason, but it just felt good to be like, hey, like, I don't even want you to come over and talk to me. I was just, like, literally fully enjoying the time with myself and my own thoughts. I had a little bourbon glazed salmon with some Brussels sprouts. And I had a salad. I took myself on a nice date, and then I had a peaceful walk back. It was nice.
Sounds nice.
I'm curious to know, let's see. What are you most afraid of in a relationship and why?
Most afraid of. I think I'm most afraid that the next time I get into any sort of relationship that I will not have learned my lesson. Like, I'll keep repeating the same mistakes or the same, like, key mistake. So for a long time, that was part of the reason I didn't want to date, because I'm like, I keep making bad choices. Like, I need to stop, reset, and think about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, because this is ridiculous, bitch, grow up. So, yeah, I'm afraid of just, like, not learning from the past and just keeping on that hamster wheel. Was there a second part to that question? And why? Well, I think that's self-explanatory, because I don't want to be stuck here anymore making bad decisions. Okay. I'm curious to know, what do you consider a husband-only benefit?
The things, and this is, like, hard because you'll meet my family, but you won't meet my family. I think if I open up my life to you, and it's not just like you meet my mom and like a quick like hi bye, like you actually get to. It took Carlos 7 years to get the pajamas for Christmas, our matching pair of pajamas for Christmas. Like that's an honor. I cherish my family to the core, and so I remember he's like, when do I get to come? When do I get to come? It's just, there are just some things that you got to pass and some things that we got to figure out about you before you get that pair of pajamas. And my family, even though Carlos didn't end up being my husband, I would say that's something that it's husband.
I will not have learned my lesson. Like, I'll keep repeating the same mistakes or the same, like, key mistake. So for a long time, that was part of the reason I didn't want to date, because I'm like, I keep making bad choices. Like, I need to stop, reset, and think about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, because this is ridiculous, bitch, grow up. So, yeah, I'm afraid of just, like, not learning from the past and just keeping on that hamster wheel. Was there a second part to that question? And why? Well, I think that's self-explanatory because I don't want to be stuck here anymore making bad decisions. Okay. I'm curious to know, what do you consider a husband-only benefit?
The things, and this is like hard because you'll meet my family, but you won't meet my family. I think if I open up my life to you, and it's not just like you meet my mom and like a quick like hi bye, like you actually get to. It took Carlos 7 years to get the pajamas for Christmas, our matching pair of pajamas for Christmas. Like that's an honor. I cherish my family to the core, and so I remember he's like, "When do I get to come? When do I get to come?" It's just there are just some things that you got to pass, and some things that we got to figure out about you before you get that pair of pajamas. And my family, even though Carlos didn't end up being my husband, I would say that's something that it's for husband, my family life.
So like going forward.
Yeah,
I feel you.
Going forward, I learned. Look, that was a lesson because I'm curious to know if you're dating someone and they're looking different from when you first started dating them and you don't like it. Ooh. How would you handle it?
Okay, so I wrote this question, but I'm thinking like, okay, I think it would be so hard to tell somebody that. So it kind of depends. Like, if it's something where I just don't like this sense of style and the trends that they're trying to follow, or like a haircut or something, I'm probably just going to flat out say, why you keep cutting your hair like that? I really don't like it. Why don't you do this? And show them somebody else on Instagram or something, you know? So I could just tell them. But if it was like they're starting to look dirty or severely overweight or underweight, I'm going to have a sit down, like, serious conversation. Because either way, something's got to give, you know? So, that would be hard. But yeah, if it's something little, like, you keep wearing these lame-ass t-shirts, do you want to go shopping? Look at what the internet has. What would you like? Maybe just start buying clothes.
Make a wish list, baby.
Right. Okay. Is there any more? I think that's it.
The ultimate vacation. I actually really want to answer that.
I see. Okay, so Medina, surprise question. Describe your ultimate vacation.
Okay, my ultimate vacation.
You were ready for this.
Would consist of sea life. I would want Bae to be like, pack your bags. I booked us a trip to like New Zealand or like somewhere where the Arctic Ocean runs through, and you are gonna swim with orcas that are wild orcas, not held in captivity. And he's like, I'm doing it with you, and it's gonna be a grand experience. Like, I love animals, Kiki, like so much, and I just love learning about them. And I would just love to go swimming with the orcas. That's on my bucket list of things to do. And so if the Bae was like, we going to New Zealand, baby, and we about to go swim with the orcas, and it's a whole ordeal, I would be like, oh my gosh, please God, this has to actually be my husband.
The orcas. Okay,
the orcas.
That's interesting. I'm glad you got
Lord.
that question and not me, because honestly, I really don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what the ideal one would be. I don't know. I just want to go on one right now. That would be a nice little getaway. Okay, so before we get into our discussion, I'm going to read this story, this weird sex story to you guys. Okay.
You said a man is not a necessity, a man is a luxury.
Like dessert. Yeah. A man is absolutely not a necessity.
Did you mean that to sound mean and bitter?
Oh, not at all. I adore dessert. I love men. I think men are the coolest. But you don't really need them to live.
Okay, so Anne-Marie Bessie Eller, yes, all of those are her name, was found guilty of second-degree robbery after attacking her boyfriend in his own home a little over a year ago. Okay, so the boyfriend told cops that he had invited her over to his house hoping to have sex after dating for only a few months. She tied him up to the futon in his room allegedly to have sex, and then once she had him tied up, stole 3 of his guns and a phone, which also held his bank card. He was stuck tied up for 45 minutes before he broke free by using a lighter to burn through the rope. Later, the boyfriends at the bank told him that his card was being used at all these different locations. That's how he realized that the card wasn't there. Anyway, they traced everything back to the lady, and she was also arrested for first-degree felony kidnapping. And I'm just like, girl, what is going on? Why are you tying people up and robbing them? That is not okay.
That's horrible. People will really do some crazy things.
Like, you tied him up to a futon. Like, he already is about to have sex with you on a futon. So, come on.
Is that current?
Mm-hmm. She did that in November of 2019, but she just went to court for it recently.
Imagine you reading a weird sex and then somebody writes in like, y'all just read a weird sex and that was me. That was my experience. That was me.
I would be like, girl,
I'm in jail.
We have more questions because this doesn't make...
Please, can you come on the show?
Right.
Is there a way?
Get the JPEG going. Okay. All right. So that's it for weird sex. One of the listeners sent that in. So thank you so much for sending it in. Okay.
Y'all be looking out.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Because sometimes I really cannot find anything. It's hard to find new people who are doing crazy things and getting caught for it. I mean, obviously it's happening. Mm-hmm. And the stories that I've been telling lately have been pretty current. It's like recent news.
This is really random.
Okay.
But speaking of weird sex, would you ever go to that bunny ranch?
To do what?
Would you ever just go, like, to see what people are doing? I've always wanted to go.
To go and, like, watch, just be a voyeur.
Mm-hmm.
No, I guess I've never thought about it, the fact that it's a real place. Mm-mm. Yeah. If you ever go, tell me how it is.
Okay.
Okay. So that's it for weird sex. Like I said, thank you so much for sending that in. If you guys see more weird sex stories, then you can send them to me on Instagram at Kiki Said So, or you can email them to us, cocktails@atl@gmail.com. Okay, so I was thinking that this week we would switch things up a little bit because we have been doing this show for so many years. And it's like over time, sometimes we'll talk about the same topic, for example, but we change our minds all the time. And then I've just been doing, I guess since September of last year, I've just been doing a lot of reflecting about who I am, who I was, who I want to be, how far away I am from these goals, like whether it was like good feelings or bad feelings or whatever. So I kind of wanted to do like a little bit of a check-in type episode today and talk about like what we want. And it's not going to be like all sad and stuff. But I did want to touch on some of that stuff. Sometimes I felt like my voice was making it sound very serious and very melancholy because some things that I want to do are not like serious things at all, just fun stuff, like have more sex.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Why do you look so surprised?
Because I feel like you already have so much sex, and one of my things is have less sex.
Oh, why? Why do you want less?
You said why?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's I don't know. I'm just not. Lately, I haven't been feeling the sex thing. Like, it's weird. And I really do go back and forth with it. Like, I'm not making a promise to myself, but I do want to try to have less sex, especially with the new people that come into my life this year. I feel like it just causes such a blur. And it's, I was about to say it's not a bad thing, but it actually is.
Yeah, I get that.
For
I
me.
guess I haven't really been having sex with a lot of different people or new people. These people are all old, so I don't even think about them as people sometimes, which isn't always good, but just different reasons. But yeah, I want more.
I was in a clubhouse room, and it was about relationships and dating, and it was really cool because the room was filled with mostly women, and a couple of guys were there. When I say a couple, I mean literally 2.
Oh, wow.
And they had questions for the moderator about, some of the relationship problems they were having with their girl. And this one guy was talking about how he was dating this girl, and they had sex, and he was like, I really was going to like her, and now I literally can't move past the sex. And then the other guy was talking. He's like, yeah, it's really hard to sometimes when you have sex too soon, you kind of just like
You get stuck at
put
sex.
girls in a bubble. Yeah, he was like, you just, everything else just goes away. He was like, you're not even interested in anything else when it happens too soon. And he was like, a lot of men are like that, and we just don't know how to really communicate that. He was like, I didn't even want to have the sex, but we ended up having the sex, and now that's really all I want her for. But I did like her, and I really heard that young man. And he was like 30, I want to say. It was a really great discussion. I was like, wow, that makes sense.
It does make sense,
Y'all
I guess. If you're not,
y'all can't multitask.
That's not the
like-
person for me. Yeah. But good for you and everybody who believes in that, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, did you make?
Wow.
Are you a New Year's resolution type of girl or no?
I go back and forth
Okay.
with it. This year, I made a promise to myself to make some changes. When I actually sit down and I'm like, these are my New Year's resolutions, and I'm going to list it out, it normally goes the opposite way.
Okay.
And I don't, it doesn't happen. So even before New Year's came, I already started like prepping myself for the changes and tweaks and adjustments that I would like to see change within myself. And I've noticed a lot of those for this new year have to do with internal things, my mind, strengthening my mind, health. That's a big change for me. A lot of times when I've sat down and wrote down some New Year's resolutions, it has to do with things that I want that I can touch.
Okay.
What about you? Are you a New Year's resolution chick?
Not so much. So every now and then I'll do like something light, like just to kind of kickstart my year. Like, I guess my New Year's resolution was to buy a new planner and use it. I buy plenty of planners, but do I use them all the time? No. So I've been trying to be conscious of that. But usually I do like my internal reflection on my birthday. And I think that's why I continue to get like so emotional around my birthday, up and down. But I really do a lot of self-reflection, and I like to reset then, because that feels new to me. January 1st to today to a month ago, it doesn't feel that different to me. So yeah, no, I don't do them, but I saw a lot of people talking about them, and I'm just like, I wonder whoever.
I get it. I do get it.
Yeah, I wonder whoever actually sticks to them. But I did ask a friend that at New Year's Eve when we went to dinner, and she said she put her ideas, things that she wanted. It was lots of different things, like whether it just be changes or things she wanted out of life, on her vision board, and she puts it up to where she sees it every day, like you're supposed to do. Don't lose it and have it in the trunk of your car like I did. That's why
it falls behind the bed. It's all dusty. You put it on a poster board and it's ripped up.
Yeah, so she said that she like literally looks at it every day. She made a new one, and last year everything, I think except for one thing, maybe she said one thing, didn't happen, but she achieved like lots of different goals in different areas of her life. But yeah, no. And then I need to put my goals, I need to like write them down, put them in front of my face, because I forget stuff. Like, I don't know where my memory goes, but I forget a lot of stuff. Like, what did I do yesterday?
What I started doing was, and I learned this from Ayana. We did a bonus episode. If y'all aren't patrons, make sure you join so you can get that bonus content. But me and the Yoga Babe did a bonus episode together, and she's really good at like manifesting and meditating. So I was like, I just be struggling with the whole doing shit like that. I'd be forgetting.
Yeah.
And so she was like, well, this is what I want you to do. She's like, take a piece of paper, write it down. And whether it's an intention, something you're trying to accomplish, a goal, whatever, fold it up, put it in your panties or put it in your bra.
Okay.
And she was like, you'll almost always feel it at some point in the day, or if you pull your pants on and use the bathroom, it's going to fall out. You're going to open it like, oh, shit, I did say I was going to do this today. And you remember. So that's a nice little quirky way to remember.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have grown or changed from who you are since we started this show?
Yes.
The very beginning.
Yes. I feel like I change all the time. Like who I am and what I want, I'm just so fickle. I don't know what that is. I definitely think I've grown. I think that over the course of the show, I've become a lot more understanding of people and their situations. Like when it comes to sex and dating specifically, like I've had time to like really look and see like somebody else saying that they did something similar to what I've done in my own love life, and be like, you do this all the time and you think this person sounds crazy. This is literally how you sound when you're talking to your friends about these decisions that you're making all the time. Like, you got to make changes, you know? So that's been a thing that I've noticed. I'm better at seeing it in myself. And then what else has changed? What I want. I feel like sometimes I want to be in a relationship. Sometimes I'm like, fuck all niggas. Other times I'm like, I had a bad decision. And it just, that part, that is consistently changing. There is no growth in that department. I like to think that there is 5 days out of the year, but no.
but no.
Girl, how do you feel about yourself with changing?
Have I grown
or changed?
And definitely, there is some growth, but it just recently happened. Like it's
like breaking news
when we start. Huh?
Are you pregnant? What is going on?
Could you imagine if I was like,
actually, yeah, I was gonna say it for the end. I'd be like, wait a minute, stop recording. I need to hear the full story.
The change for me is happening in a weird way. It's like, you know how people say, be the change you want to see?
Yes. I love that saying.
I had a moment with a man that I love, and I just utterly embarrassed myself to the point where it made me want to change. Like, it didn't even matter if other people were like, it wasn't that bad. I felt bad about it. It was just, I think I spoke about it briefly on a couple of episodes last week, but I just got really drunk to try to cope with some feelings that I was having. And it was just like, just went downhill. And when I woke up in the morning, I was in clumps of throw up, Kiki. And yes, we are all going to make mistakes, and sometimes we make bad decisions, but you come to a point where you just like look yourself in the mirror. You're like, bitch, I wouldn't want to be with you either. Now, granted, we had some other issues going on, but the way that he looked at me, I like older men. He doesn't live that type of life. So when I woke up in my throw up, and it was just like, I could see me waking up in the throw up, and I just looked at him, and the look of like disappointment.
Did you have throw up on your face?
It was in my braids, Kiki. And you can't really you got to take the braid out to get it out. Girl, it was everywhere.
That is a moment that will make you think.
And it's not like I'm 21. I'm 32. And I don't do that all the time, but it was enough to be like, all right, well, let's change. Let's make some changes and be the change you want to see. I don't condone that type of stuff. I wouldn't even like it if I was with a dude and he got that drunk and I got to clean up, and now you done messed up the whole hotel. And now the whole vibe is just off. So I think my change is like learning how to deal with my emotions sober when it comes to dating, and just getting them out in healthier ways.
Oh, I
not
feel
using
you.
another man to get over it. Yeah, not using another person to get over it, or a drug, or alcohol. And I've just noticed in that moment when the man looked at me, that has to change. You can't do that. If you want a certain type of man, be who you're saying you want. So I think that's where a lot of my growth and change has come from. We can demand all these things, but then it's like, okay, let's take a look at self real quick. What you doing?
Right. Would you want you? Really? Truly?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a moment like that when I texted you earlier, and I was like, do you ever read your old journals? I was reading through mine, and it was the night after I had a similar night to yours, where it was just like, if this doesn't serve as your wake-up call to make some changes, it's just a lost cause. So I was just reading like all of the emotions and how I felt that day, and I was like, thank God, because I have grown from this. I mean, I still got a lot of work to do, but from that, what I was going through that day, I have made like solid changes, and I won't go back. And it's like, that girl was sad. I don't want to be there, Yeah,
and you know what else? Speaking of like not, because we do make mistakes, and sometimes you do fall back. But when you do make that solid decision, you're like, I really am going to start noticing something like a red flag. A lot of times we ignore red flags. I will say that I've gotten to the point now where if I meet a man and I'm talking to him and I do like him, like this happened recently too. When you do some of the things that are on my no list, I have a habit of being like, oh, but
making
he did
excuses,
this, so
like
the
to
no-no's
balance
okay.
it. Okay.
I like to balance it. And I'm like, well, he did that, but he did this. It's all right. I have been doing a very good job of being like, he did the no-no, and it's a wrap. And not even really, I don't feel like if you did something that's on my no-no list, I don't need to explain it to you. It's a wrap, bro. Don't hit me with the Merry Christmas. Don't hit me with the Happy Thanksgiving.
So how do you tell them that,
I literally don't.
Do you block their number?
And I'm new to this. I don't even block their number because I get off on knowing that you're still trying to contact me. But the guy that recently this happened with, he sent me some like a Merry Christmas text, and he was like, "You're not gonna respond," and I just didn't respond because it's
no
done.
Response is a response as well.
Yeah,
well, good.
I just don't even put my energy into it.
Good. We're gonna pray that that stays true, and I can have some of that too. I need to be looking at the no-no list. Okay. What was I going to say? What's something that you figured out about yourself now? Just like a thing that maybe a habit that you have, or just something you've realized about yourself since, I would say since 2 years ago.
Man, I hold back a lot. We're pertaining it to dating, right? And so
I don't want to get too deep. Not a young back.
Oh, because Elanya will really have you
be like,
crying.
come in my bosom.
Ugly cry. I hold back a lot.
Like, what you mean?
Sometimes I think that sometimes I just think that I can be too much, and so I like to
give it a
piece, it in doses. Yeah. But have you ever been around people where you're like, they're not giving me them in doses, whether it's good or bad. They're just being who the fuck they are.
And it's like, take it or leave it.
And I don't do that. Sometimes I try to read a person and what they want and give them that, as opposed to just being who I am. Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing. Like, for business purposes, you might have to do that. But when I've noticed with men, like, sometimes I give off this persona that's not necessarily fake. It's just not all of me. And so I'm working on being who I am with you at all moments, like all levels of me, all layers of me. It is just who I am. Because sometimes when you kind of hold those things back or try to let them out in doses, the rest of you doesn't come out because they get wrapped up on this one version of you, and then you're sad.
And then you start to resent the person too, as if they made you do it when really it was your crazy ass idea in the first place not to be yourself. Yeah.
Like, and it can be something as small as like, okay, date ideas. I don't always want to go to dinner and go smoke hookah. I'm not one of those girls. We can do it every now and again, but I don't like doing that a lot. I like animals. I like exciting things. I like doing things that we've never done before. And sometimes, I really do hate to say this, but sometimes when I have dealt with black men, there are just certain things that sometimes are off limits. I'm not going to the drive-in zoo. I don't want to be around the animals. And it's like, can you just give it a chance? So then when people behave like that, sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, well, never mind. We don't have to do it. But you want to go smoke hookah and possibly give me lung cancer. No. Like, I want to do something exciting.
Like, how many fucking times can we order the same fucking hookah and look at the same people get on their phone?
I don't want watermelon mint no more.
Like, what? Yeah, I feel you.
2021, I'm peeling off the layers. Like, I just am peeling off the layers in my dating life. It's not just let's be cute and pretty and smoke hookah. Let's go do something different.
I feel you. That's good. Do something different. Make a change. I wish somebody would plan some different dates for me.
And when you really do sit back and try to plan a different date, it
it is.
Because you'd be like, oh, dang.
Like, you don't want to do this.
Even when you look up things to do in Georgia, they're all the same.
Yeah, it's like you have to, like, go on a deep dive, or you're going to have to go out of town, or you're going to have to do something, like, really, really different. One place to go, though, if you guys are looking for suggestions, honestly, even if you don't buy them, Groupon. There's all sorts of, like, activities, classes, all kind of things. So even if you don't want to, like, group on it or whatever, it's still a good idea to see places and just options that you might not have known are there. And a lot of those places can be new because they go there to, like, try and get you to visit their business.
Do you ever look back on past episodes or past tweets or Instagram posts and feel embarrassed or regretful of anything that you've said on the show?
Yes. Anytime I have ever been drunk on an episode, I typically regret most things that I said. And more than even what I said is how it sounded, the slurring, and just like those have been embarrassing moments. And then other times it's like,
we used to really be getting drunk.
I was a sad person.
I mean, drunk.
So anyway, yeah, that. And then like anytime when I bit my tongue and I should have said something in the moment, I hate when I do that. But that's another time when I listen back and I'm embarrassed. It's like, you should have said how you felt, you know, or how it made you feel, or what you really thought about something. Like, this is the time to give an opinion. It's a podcast, bitch. Why are you not sharing? I don't know. So I hold back in that way sometimes.
I'm curious to know, do you have an example?
An example of what?
Of a time you wish you would have said something.
No, I just remember like thinking back, or like anytime I've listened back, I know I've felt that multiple times. Like maybe I had more to say and I just stopped myself instead of going on, whether it was because I felt like I was getting upset or I was rambling. That happens often. Or if I felt like we'll never move on to the next topic. I don't know. So sometimes I'll just stop, even though there's still more that I want to say, just to like not drag it on. I do have to remember other people are listening. It's not really just us talking or us and the guests, you know. Does that happen with you?
Feeling of, it has definitely happened to me, and it always makes, like, I'm sweating right now, partially because this top is kind of hot, but also because like when I go back and listen to past episodes, which I do a lot, like sometimes I'll just hop on and start listening. There have been times where it's cringe, like I am cringing as if people can actually see me.
That is the worst feeling.
There have been times where it's the worst feeling because it's just out there. Or when someone is new to the show and they're just now catching on and they send a message about like an old time.
Especially if the episode is under 100, it's like, girl, you're going to have to remind me. I don't even know.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be like, what? I said that? I said that, and I said it. Some of the things that I have said about my expectations financially for men, I can honestly say, like, I have gone back and been like, why would you say that? Like, I want to throw up sometimes. Like, I sound like a city girl, and I'm not. That's
not really how you feel.
Some of my proud moments. It's not really how I feel. Like, and you know, it happens. Like you said, that's the great thing about this show. Like, we will get to, like, we can literally reflect and go see, like, oh wow, I was really talking like that. I sounded foolish. When I sound foolish, and when I go back and I feel like I sounded foolish, that's when I be embarrassed. Like, damn, my kid's gonna hear this. One day they're gonna be like, Mom, remember when you grounded me on episode 157 you shared a story about, you know,
I
it's
wonder
just like,
what that
there
would
are
feel
where...
like I'm glad I don't want no kids, because I think about that for like celebrities sometimes when I see like situations they get in. It's just like, damn, they're gonna be wondering what the fuck was going on here. This is my mom, or this is my dad.
Oh, North, she's in for a whirlwind of
North is the North
abuse.
True.
Oh, Jesus.
Poor True. She's gonna be looking at her daddy crazy like,
Mom was in labor with me and you was cheating?
And who is this lady?
And wait, you had a whole baby mama beforehand? And Dad. What's something that where did I see that? What's something you thought you had figured out, but now you realize that you didn't?
I used to think I had figured out what I wanted, like in terms of a relationship, what I want from a man, what I really need from a man. I didn't have it figured out. I was just picking stuff, trying it out, like still trying to discover it. And I think that like over the years, my priorities have changed about what I want, what that man looks like, what he acts like, how he treats me, how he makes me feel, where those things fall on the totem pole. Yeah.
That's really important. And growth is so dope because like you start to look at, you don't want kids, but it's still like you maybe look at what type of man you want in a husband. And I do want kids, and now I'm looking at it like, what type of child would you raise? Do you care about people's feelings? Are you kind? Do you read books? Do you like to learn? Like, could I learn something from you? Or do you have an open mind? Like, when I'm around kids more often, you really look at how their little minds are shaped. And the parent has the power in that until they get to a certain age. But like, when you look at human beings, for some people, you're like, wow, I can see where you came from. And sometimes it's sad. It's like nobody took their time with you. And when I'm around my nephew, like I look at, he's just a beautiful little individual. And it's because his parents, they take the time with him to mold his mind. And so sometimes when I talk to people going on all these dates, even though sometimes they are not great, it still is a blessing in disguise, because you be talking to people and you're like, bro, what is you talking about? Like, what else can you know what I mean? It's just
I can understand, like, if I go on a date with a guy and, like, the conversation is very shallow. You're telling me about what you have, what you own, this money. What else do they talk about? Who they know. I don't give a fuck about who you know. Do you know Beyonce?
Yeah.
If you don't know Beyonce, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, I don't care. I don't care who you're connected to. It serves of no benefit. And now I'm wondering, like, why you don't introduce me to him? Like, you could, if he's so, like, amazing that you would have to bring up this other person, can you introduce us? Because I think that might be a better match. He sounds better than you.
Yeah, it's really this thing about our wants and changes in what we want and what we need to feed our soul, for real.
Yeah.
It's, even if you ask somebody that question,
That's
what
what
do
I was
you
about to
need
ask you.
You know, feed. Yeah, what is something that you need to feed your soul? And for me, I need knowledge. Like, I literally realized, I look at my dad and my brother, me and my sister were talking about this, and we compare a lot of men that we have met to them because they're incredible people. I need activities and adventure, new things on a regular basis. Even, and it doesn't have to be something like we're swimming with the orcas and next month we're going in with the tide. No, it could be something like, I read this book. Did you know that this type of food does this to your body? Like, you know what I mean? Just like, I need risks and adventure for my soul to be fed and love.
Do you feel like you go
love.
places to find people where you might find people who are interested in risk and adventure? Like on your weekly
Absolutely
stuff?
not.
Yeah. Sometimes that's another thing to really think
to the
about
point.
too. Like when you really figure out what it is that you actually do want, not like what other people are influencing you to want, but what you really want, what makes you happy, or what you think will make you happy. You got to ask yourself, like, am I surrounding myself with like-minded people? They're not going to pop up in your same routine if you haven't met them already, you know. Well, it's unlikely.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
So where are you about to start going, girl?
Yeah.
For your adventure?
So I've literally been looking up groups to like join, and
like social
I
groups.
don't really like doing things. Social groups, and not even necessarily that have to do with like when I get in that group, I'm gonna meet the man of my dreams. Just social groups, just to meet all types of new people. I don't really enjoy doing things by myself, but I'm learning that it's okay. And you need to enjoy doing the things that you love by yourself, because right now the reality of it is you don't have a man. So what you gonna do? Just not do nothing?
Do you like, okay, so when you're thinking of these things, so I'm thinking like, oh yeah, you want to be with your homegirls, blah, blah, blah. And this whole time you were thinking about a man. That is how far gone I am single as fuck. Like, this is very ghetto. I'm really sitting there like thinking about walking down the street like the girls on Girlfriends or Sex in the City, and we're going shopping and we're just hanging out, or we're going to take a girls trip. Like, and Medina's like, bitch, I want a man on a vacation, and we go home together. I'm a spinster.
Yeah, I'm
a fucking spinster. This is ridiculous.
But yeah, being in those places where you think you'll find your man at is what I got to work on, because right now it just ain't it. It's to the point now where if I do go somewhere, I'll be like, I know he ain't here.
When's the last time you felt like that?
Girl,
Where were you? One of these bars?
I went to Bucket Shop. No, I went to Hyde. And I was like, I know he's not here. And at least we know those things. I went in just to eat with my girlfriends. I was like, I know he ain't here. If anybody asks me for my number in here, it ain't gonna happen. He is not in here. I don't want my nigga smoking hookah.
I thought it was going to be something else that was going to come out of your mouth, but okay. No hookah smokers. Well, he's not in Atlanta.
He's not. Oh, he's definitely not. I've given up on it. I have given up on it.
Do you want to move back home to Texas?
No, I only want to move back to Texas when I already have my man and we're talking about starting a family. Then I would be okay with moving back to Texas. But moving back to Texas now, when I'm in my prime, I think it would kind of hold me.
You think so? I think you might meet him.
I do.
That's what I was thinking. Like, you could meet somebody like one time when you go home, or, well, not home, but when you go somewhere, you could meet somebody from there. Perfect match. You want to move there and raise kids there, and y'all are on the same page. Love story.
My sister seems to think that if I move to Oklahoma City, that he's in Oklahoma City.
Does she just want her sister there?
She trying to.
Does she have somebody for you? City. If she tried to hook you up, would you go? Like if she tried to set you up on a date?
I would go on the date. I wouldn't just pack up and move. But
no. I just meant the date.
It's funny that you said that, because I was talking to my friend Seba yesterday, and I was like, how do you meet people? Because he dates a lot. And he was like, a lot of my friends vouch for me. And that's how I meet people, because I never really meet new girls or in a circle of some sort of people that I know. And they vouch for me. I was like, am I not vouchable? I'm never I have friends. Don't nobody ever be like, there is this man that I would love for you to meet.
I don't know. Every time my friends say that I never meet the man, I'm like, bitch, did you take him? Where you at?
Where you go?
Like, what's going on? So yeah, I mean, maybe we are just two unvouchable assholes, and that's why we're sitting here saying the same thing every fucking New Year's.
Every New Year, we're like, I'm going, go new places, and I'm going to join a social club.
You know what I did? This is, again, not to meet men, but to meet different people who have different perspectives. I started a virtual book club in the summer, and so we've been reading a new book every month, and we do, like, 1 or 2 Zoom meetings a month. That has been good, just to, like, talk to other people who are in other parts of the country and who have different mindsets, because my friends here, everybody's single, or... Yeah, everybody's single. Like, nobody has kids. I had to make sure, like, there were no lingering situationships that somebody might get upset about. But, yeah, everybody's single. Everybody is just, we all kind of have the same life. Even if we want different things out of it and different things from a partner, we're still, like, in the same place. Ain't nobody married. Don't nobody even, like, have no situations going on right now, and no children. Some people have been married and divorced. Some people have children. Some people have custody of, like, other kids who aren't even their own. And so when you talk to them about life and, like, what they're getting from their partners, if they have a partner, or just what's going on their day-to-day, and when we're just having, like, casual conversations, it's really eye-opening just to hear and see from different people.
Like, eye-opening in a way where you're like, I've never want to have that, or like
that. It could be both, or just like we're talking about a book, totally fictional situation, and everybody's saying how we all read about the same event, but what did we really think was behind it? Like, just how so many people can look at the same situation, and it's like I never would have considered that point of view. So it's just interesting to hear, and like everybody's stories are different. So when you do come together, somebody's bound to think different, and I like that, because sometimes I feel like everybody's saying the same stuff, or has the same opinion, or people are not expressing how they really feel. And it's just like, oh, this is boring. We're all the same.
Kiki, where are you currently at in your relationship status?
I am single as a, what is it called? A doornail? Whatever the country people say, very single. I think that I want to date. Like, as of today, I think that I want that. I think that I'm open to it. And I think that, I've grown enough, like, on my own on some, like, really toxic traits that I had when it came to dating and just, like, not paying attention to the red flags like you spoke about earlier. I've just done better, I think. And that, a part of that is because I didn't do it at all. So now I feel like I can see clearly now. The rain is gone and I can, you know, do better. So I'm ready, I think. We'll see. I see it again in 90 days.
Okay. I will definitely.
Yeah, so I'm ready. I hope I meet somebody. But I don't know where I'm going to meet him. He's going to have to work for Amazon or something, be a delivery person. But I have gone to
or
some.
He could be
I'm
a
going
listener.
out to eat tonight. I'm going to meet somebody.
By yourself or on a date?
By myself to find a date.
Oh.
I need to start meeting new men, you know?
I feel you. That is why I went to that hotel bar at the Palm yesterday and
For your date?
actually didn't meet him. I probably had the chance to, but the nigga sent me the drink and I'm not drinking. I was like, red flag.
So the no alcohol, no sugar is together, or are you doing no alcohol separate?
It's just, the no alcohol is just like, I really wouldn't say no alcohol. If I decide that I want to have a drink, cool, but I haven't been drinking. And it does feel good. Like, alcohol be making you chubby. It makes you act stupid. I'm not saying I'm never gonna drink it. I just have said, or sad. And it's just like, why? Just why? I'm going out of town this weekend. If I decide to have a drink, then I'll have a drink. But that is sugar. So that would fuck up my whole sugar thing. So the alcohol thing was just pure. I embarrassed myself and it was like, slow down.
You. Yeah. So I was like, I wonder if she's coupling this together. I get it. I don't want to embarrass myself this year. Like, with my feelings.
I don't either.
Like,
I want to leave that in 2020.
I really don't. Like, that is like some of the worst. Those are the worst days. And you just have to, like, kind of sit and sulk in it. Like, what the fuck, bitch? Stop acting crazy.
Stop it. What's wrong with you?
I had a situation where this guy I dated, he was around me and one of my friends, and so he was telling a story about something that happened with an ex-girlfriend. Do you know this girl says, so do you just like crazy women? And I was like, well, damn it. Like, what? And I was like, this is a moment. Write this down in your journal, and you need to reflect. Think of all the crazy things that you've done and write them down so you can look at them in a clump. But, yeah.
Do you remember that one time when me, you, and Lauren?
What am I about to be embarrassed about?
I really can't. No, I'm
okay.
embarrassed. This wasn't a you embarrassed. This was a me.
I think
and I can't remember where the night
is.
Started, but I'm talking about we were drunk. And I remember I had all that money in my purse and I was pulling it out at the
You were
place.
drunk. We didn't get to get drunk because we started at the W. I don't know where your day started, but we came and met you at the W. I got off work, went and picked her up, and then we came to the W. You were cussing out this man who was driving an Aston Martin. Never forget, because I love that car.
And he had something wrong with his nose. Yeah, it was really big.
What was wrong with his nose? Did you ever find out?
I don't know, but he had like
something.
Mm-hmm. That's how you know. I was drunk, y'all. I was making fun of this man and his nose, and I would never do that in my regular bones.
Yeah, that's a moment where I'd be like, you know what? I have to retire. I fell down some steps at Siva's one day.
No, you didn't.
That was so embarrassing. And not the outside steps, y'all. The steps from the second floor to the first floor. It's like, I don't know if I missed a step or I tripped over my own 2 feet, but I was walking like everything was cool. It wasn't like I was just so fucked up I'm falling.
Were people like, oh my gosh, ma'am, are you okay?
Yes, and I was just like, I gathered my things. I had already paid. I had just gone to the bathroom. And I just had to, like, go. It's like, if I...
Were you by yourself? It's worse when you're by yourself.
I wasn't by myself. Thank God. But that day was just so embarrassing. Oh, good thing I don't go there anymore. So I was embarrassed for so long.
There are some places that I literally can't go just because I have so many moments of drunkenness and I don't know. Like sometimes I saw Kenny Burns a couple weeks ago. I went to a movie premiere and I saw him and I was like, I hope he doesn't remember me. I hope he doesn't remember me. Because the period that he remembers me from, I was wild, bro. Like you didn't know what you were going to get. I was wild. And he definitely remembered me. And I was just like, hey, I've changed. I promise.
I'm a new person.
I am a new person, but Compound is another one of those places. I'll never go to Compound again. It was too much happened in Compound.
Yeah,
Never. I can't. I won't even go to the Republic. Not because people was just getting stabbed up, but because it is too close to compound.
Which is so crazy. Like, it's like every day somebody's getting shot up, stabbed up, ran over.
What's something that you used to be afraid of, but now you're open to try it?
I used to be afraid of, as weird as it might sound, like changing my mind. Like, if I say something and I really feel like adamant about something, like, I guess where I stand on something or what I want or whatever, like out of a guy, for example, this is really the type of guy that I want. And I say that I don't want this, but then I change my mind later and I figure out I don't really want that. I want the thing I said I didn't want. It's like hard for me to say that. And I don't know why. That's really strange, but it's like, am I flip-flopping because of somebody else and their influence? Am I flip-flopping because I really changed my mind and I've just, changed? Or, like, what is it? I don't know. But, like, just realizing and saying I've changed my mind and this isn't what I want anymore is so hard. I'm afraid to do that and I've got to stop. Like, why am I forcing myself to suffer? I don't know. Crazy, I guess.
Yeah. I used to be afraid and not afraid, like I'm scared for my life, but I just saying no to
whatever,
whether it be sex or you want me to come over and you want me to spend the night and I really don't want to spend the night, but I'll just do it because you really want me to. I am just I will tell you before I even get there, I am not spending the night. I am not having sex with you. If that is in your mind, tell me now before I drive over there and waste this gas. It's not happening. Even in the moment when we get down to it. And I told the story. If I don't want to fuck you and we get butt booty hole naked, no longer is Medina in the days of, I guess I got to have sex. I don't care how it looks. I don't care if it's a tease. I don't want to do it. So, and I've gotten really good with that because I used to not be. I feel like a lot of women have struggled with that, but it's just like you feel like you have to have sex or it's so late. He invited you over. It's so late. And so because it's 2 a.m., I got to fuck him because he's thinking he's going to get the pussy. Absolutely not. No. You're grown. I'm grown. And
no means no. I'll never forget. I went over to this guy's house and I told him before I went and he was like, it's cool. But I guess he thought he was going to play those games with me. We are 75 years old. Why the fuck are you still playing these games? If I told you this and you said, oh no, it's cool, you're not even on that, we're on the same page. I don't care how crazy y'all think that is or, oh, niggas never say that, whatever. I don't give a fuck what you're saying. If this is a conversation, this is what it is. So I get over there and now you want to have a fit because it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I just want to watch Netflix for real and chill.
And men will really get mad and try to almost like belittle you and make you feel stupid.
They will.
Sir.
Like, well, why did you come over here? I told you what it was.
What it was.
And it's like, why is it? And then in those situations, even when people are like, well, you know how guys are. Why does it have to be that way? Like, why do we always have to bend to how it is for them and how they see life? Somebody needs to bend this way.
Somebody needs to bend this way because no one says that when we're talking about the dates and if it's an expensive one or a cheap date, y'all niggas don't be like, you know how women are. Just do it. Just take her over to Phipps. Y'all don't do that.
They don't do nothing we say.
Y'all don't do that.
Nothing we say. Take me somewhere nice and we're doing the same old shit. Hookah smoke on my new weed.
Pop bottles, hookah smoke. What strip club are we going to next? And like I said, I know I used to do those things and they are fun. I am just like being very clear about like right now, my space right now. If that is where you want to take me out to, I'm probably not the one for you. I'm not saying I can never go to those places, but like if that's
I think when it's those guys, I put them in a box and it's like the whole you slept with me too soon. That's the box I put them in. This is always just gonna be my club homie because we'll always be good. So, oh, wow. But, like, I'm never going to get to know you. I'm never going to get to just even see how you really think. Like, why are we in here? And I might just want to suck your dick. Like, again, why are we in here? Like, if we're not going to be talking and we're just going to be doing some shit, well, let's do it. I want to have sex. Like, something And I think I'm too old. I will be asleep in the club at 3 o'clock. That shit used to be fun to me when I could stay up. Then I passed out in the club too many times. 1, for being drunk, and 2, bitch, it's 4 o'clock. Go home.
Where? Go home.
Into your home, not his, because he ain't going home. And you don't know what you're going to find when you get over there. Just save yourself.
Have you ever been out with someone and there's so much club hopping around and you really are looking like, do y'all not like your beds?
I know, but
my bed is comfortable.
Girl, do you have a home? Are you waiting for me to invite you over?
It is 3 a.m. Where could we possibly go next?
I used to be fun when I was younger and when I was newer to the city. But when you go places and you see the same people all the time, god damn, can we all go home?
And it'd be the same niggas at the same spots. And you'd be like, wow, we all... When I have found myself in moments like that, I can honestly say young or old, I have moments where I'm just looking at myself and I'm like, you talking about him, but bitch, you right here next to him. Y'all was at Kebab Land together. Now y'all at Red Martini. Now y'all moving on to Allure. All right. Are we all okay? Are we okay?
But I think I said this a long time ago, like when I finally stopped going out, I was like, I was just trying to do whatever I could to escape whatever sadness I was feeling or whatever I was going through. Because it was like you go out, you kind of fake force yourself to have a good time, and you might look happy or seem happy to other people. You probably don't seem happy, but you might be able to fake it through some smiles. But I just was at a horrible place. And I feel like that's what those niggas be in too. I don't need nobody who's in a horrible place. I've done the work. I need somebody who's checking out of the psychologist's office, the therapist, who's just going in for their weekly visit or whatever. Because that stuff is just like, and it's like, why am I there? Because I don't want to be at home. It's not that my bed is uncomfortable, but you might feel lonely. You want a man. You want to have sex. Whatever. You want to be around people. You want to socialize. And you still don't get it. Because we in the club, the music is too loud, now my head hurt. Somebody just spilled liquor on my shoes.
They're standing around. I mean, when I really saw the footage of what happened in the Republic, at first I was just looking like, first of all, why are all y'all in here? Because not even that it's COVID. It is COVID and why are y'all in there? But ain't nobody even doing nothing. People will be playing the music and everyone is literally just standing there.
Like this.
What are you doing?
Or like this with their phones. What are... If you don't take your ass to go get the vaccination at least, like, bruh, I'm just like, what is we doing? Do you think the choices that you make now align with what you want for your dating life? Now, as in the past 60 days, yes, I do. I definitely haven't always felt that way. I think that I've just been all over the place. I don't know if I really knew what I wanted or if anybody could get an idea of it. Because I would say I wanted something out of a man. I get it. And then I'm like fucking shit up. Sabotaging the relationship. Or just like not paying attention to the little things that I don't like. That, okay, now I've experienced it. This doesn't feel how I thought it would. Just lots of different things.
Yeah. My answer would be no. I don't feel like the choices that I've been making align with what I want. Sometimes I do, but for the majority, no. And
do you feel like you're
step one to changing it is being aware?
Yeah. So do you think like what changes you want to make or need to make, or are you still kind of trying to figure that out?
I think I can get, I know what needs to change. What needs to change is don't get blinded by the physical and what somebody can offer you, because you get lost and you just get lost. And now you maybe will find yourself spending time with somebody that y'all aren't even on the track to getting to know each other because everybody's just blinded.
Yeah, it's just like, what are we doing?
And so, speaking of those flags, I'm trying to be more aware of, like, if you are being too flashy for me, or that is all you can talk about is what you have physically or in your bank account. And people don't think that men do this. Men do this. They do it in different types of ways.
They do. It's so annoying.
Yeah, and I'm starting to realize, first of all, check it. Like, don't stay quiet about that. If you feel something about it, say that to that man. Tell that man that. And because I feel like men use that as a trap to get people. And I'm starting to really realize that. And it's disgusting almost. I am not saying by any means that I'm just like, welcome all the broke niggas. Where y'all at? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, the focus is just a little different. Don't lead in with you want me to fly you out. That's a red flag for me. I'm already like, unless it's Aubrey and I already know that he's busy and he's jet setting around and he just didn't have time.
Oh
but
my
like,
God.
Yeah,
I thought
like those...
for sure in 2021 we're gonna let that shit go.
You thought I was gonna let my man go? Oh, hell no, Kiki.
I really did. I thought with all of this reflection and taking a look in the mirror that it was gonna be like, all right, Aubrey's not my man. I don't know this man. But no, okay, well,
no.
you know, have your fun, girl. Get your thrills.
What does your perfect man look and act like, Kiki?
Okay.
If you were speaking it into existence.
He's still tall. That has not changed.
Okay.
He is 6'3". He has a strong jawline. Kind of a rather boxy face, but it works for him. It looks strong. He has tattoos, a beard. And his skin is not ashy. It's soft. Not like too soft to where it's like, do you know how to use a hammer? But, you know, soft enough to where it's also like, are those sandpaper gloves or is that your skin? You know? So, okay. That's the looks. That's what I'm wanting from that. And then what does he act like? Was that the second part?
Yeah. What is he like?
So he's really considerate and patient. I have realized I need a person like that. Like, I think that that's something that I've learned that I really dislike about some people is when they are impatient with, like, changes that I need to make or just me working on different things with myself or, you know, just anything really, anything, like, real on the inside. If they're not patient with me, that's really, really difficult. I need somebody who's considerate because it's like little things that I'm starting to notice about people. Like, for example, if you're sitting in a room and everybody's watching TV and then somebody gets a phone call and they're just having this loud conversation or like talking to the room as if nobody else is watching the movie, like, bitch, go have your conversation somewhere else. We don't care. It has nothing to do with us. Be considerate of the fact that we're here. Or if you know that I have a lot to do, don't ask me to do something because you know I'm going to want to help no matter what. Like, just be considerate of my time. Or if I do agree to do something, then go ahead and tell me what it is at first. Don't do no bait and switch. Don't switch things up. Like, let me know so that I can be prepared. And also let me know if you're not going to be in a good mood, because if you're not going to be in a good mood, you need to stay home. That's just another considerate thing. Don't you hate when somebody invites you out and then they're like, you're in a shitty mood? Why did you invite me out in your shitty mood? You need to go sage yourself.
Well, I got to be the lead. You invited me. You're supposed to be leading the night. Now I got to keep the energy up for everybody because your ass
and I'm
mad.
like, oh, my stomach hurt and I started my period. Gotta go.
Girl.
What else does he act like? I want him to like be able to make me get out of my shell and like be silly. Sometimes, believe it or not, I can be a silly girl. I just don't always feel so comfortable to do that because I am getting too annoyed by other things that I'm seeing. But you know, I want to just feel at ease. I want to feel relaxed. I want him to feel that way. I also want him to like listen to me because I feel like no matter what it is, whether it's a friend or a boo, you want the best for people that you care about. So it's like, listen to me. It's not like I'm just pulling stuff out of my ass. Listen to me and trust what I'm saying and just respect my opinion, respect my voice. It's not just what you say goes, or because you can't figure it out, it can't be done. I don't know what else. He does not want children anymore in children. He already has children. So he's not going to be pressuring me for that. And he also has a sex drive. I'm going to want sex more, but that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Wow.
so, and you. What does he look like? I want to know weird stuff. I want to know all the stuff, little quirky things.
He has really nice teeth. Nice features. He's tall.
How tall?
And
Okay.
He's like 6'4".
It's a good height. Mm-hmm.
He is in shape. He is healthy. He is aware of the things that he puts into his body. He's kind-hearted. His spirit, it like just lights up a room. He's one of those guys where like the women see him and they're like, it's not even because of his looks, but they're looking at their boyfriends like, why can't you ever see people? You're like, why can't you be like?
And then the girl who's
You
with
know how to
him
talk.
is just
He
like
knows how to
all
work with-
smiling and happy and shit. Girl, fuck you. Or he don't have no girls and he's trying to push up on it.
Right, it's like you go on a double date and y'all are the strong unit couple, and the other couple's like struggling because she keeps having to check her boyfriend on what he comes out his mouth.
Okay.
But he's funny. He is knowledgeable on a lot of different things. He's a leader. He is a leader. He's a leader of the pack. But not in the annoying alpha male type of leader. He's just a very strong leader.
What does he do for you?
He has a great heart. He pays attention. He is really good with children and does want kids. He is smart. And he's a great listener. He's never been married before. And he doesn't already have kids. He's fun. And he takes crazy risks to the point where everybody's like, oh my gosh. Like what?
Put all my money in the stock market risk, or like I'm about to skydive.
Put all his money in the stock market, or he wants to skydive. He has like different extremes.
Okay, Kanye.
He's free.
He's what?
Like he's free. And yeah, I think that's him. He's fun, man. I can't wait till he finally makes his way here.
And where do you think you're gonna meet him? And where are y'all gonna live?
I think I'm gonna meet him. I don't know, Kiki. I would like to say out of the country, but maybe I'll meet him in Jamaica. I'm going on a yoga retreat, and at first I was gonna invite like friends and see if people want to go with me, but then I was like, you know what? No, this is something I want to do on my own, and I want this to be like a chance for me to meet new people. It's co-ed, and maybe I'll meet him there. That'll be in Jamaica. But I hope that I meet him in a way that's like, I always say this, but I truly mean this, in the store. Like, I hope I meet him like at a grocery store, or maybe I'm walking my dog, or I'm working out. I hope I meet him doing like a normal everyday thing. Just so I can, so when you meet people, for me, when I meet people doing normal everyday things, I see you in your normal everyday life. It's not like we meet out of the country and you could be like a whole liar about your whole life. You can still do that, but it's just easier when you meet people on a vacation and people just be out here, you lying, and I might not hear from you. If we meet at the grocery store, I feel like you're more of an
because you
honest
might run
soul.
into them again too. That's another thing. You know, that's probably your normal normal routine. I think I used to think I would meet him on a plane. Like we would just be sitting next to each other just by chance. But that doesn't happen anymore, so.
Do you think when people hear us talk about like our men that we want and how we're still single, do you think they feel bad for us?
I really do. I think they're like, these two sad ass bitches. I really think that I think that they feel bad for us. I think that they think we're clueless. I think that about like love and relationships and how to treat a man. When listeners are like, hey, I think you should meet my cousin, I think that's a sign that somebody's feeling bad. You know, like, hey.
Somebody
like
has said that to you? Oh,
yeah.
Somebody has said that to me.
I think we've both talked about it on the...
He was in jail.
This guy wasn't in jail, but it was just like, okay, people are really trying to hook me up. Like, damn, do I sound desperate, or do they genuinely think we'll be a match? I think it's a combination of both. I don't know. But I know, like, sometimes even like this, like I'll say some things that I want and some things that are important, but there's only so much I'm going to say on here. Other things are a lot deeper and more like detailed to who I am that ain't really for everybody, you know? And I feel like whenever I don't share some of those things, people think that we focus so much on like shallow things, but it's like, I think there's a good mix, and it's for me, I just don't always want to share that part. I don't mind sharing the shallow stuff because it's shallow. It's not that deep. I don't always want to open up that much to people who can hear me and I can't hear them. I have no idea who these people are. It just lately I've just been wanting to keep more of like my deep feelings to myself, even more than before. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dang, I was about to ask you. Do you remember when we tried to do the blind date project?
That was so
we went
hard.
On one date.
It was honestly so hard.
We went
to find people for the date.
We went
to go on the dates.
Date. The young men were they were too young. And they were just too young. Shout out to that man, though.
Nice man, gentleman. But yeah, that was a hard one. We have tried a lot of things that but whatever, we tried it. Nothing beats a fail but a try. Would you go on a blind date these days?
Yeah. Absolutely. I love blind dates. I still love them. I wouldn't X them out. I love blind dates. I don't normally think that they work, but I would if someone was like, I have someone I want you to meet, I'd ask my key questions, make sure they're not prisoners, and go on the date with them. I think it's exciting, and you never know. You never know.
I really want a cute love story. I mean, it doesn't matter that much, but I do want one. Oh, we met at this place or this class or...
I was already planning out my niece, Disney. Her name is Disney Joy Brooks. Her proposal. I was like, Meg, could you imagine, like, whoever she falls in love with, he's going to recreate a fairy tale, a Disney fairy tale, since her name is Disney. Mecca was like, whoa, we have some time. I was like, yeah.
Make it out into the world first.
I just don't believe that God would give me all of these emotions and passions to give me a nigga that I'm gonna end up settling for. I just cannot imagine that he really put all. I could what? I got all these emotions and love to give, not for a settling ass nigga.
I hope he doesn't send me somebody boring. Like, we are gonna be two bumps on a log. I need you to have some excitement. We will have like the most boring life. We will be doing the same thing every day. Somebody's got to help me break my routine.
He got us. He got us. Okay, well, I'm going to move us on to Indecisive Diane. And when we come back, we will read some advice letters and try to help y'all out.
Would you stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? What do you want?
Hey, ladies, it's me, Indecisive Diane. And boy, do I have a grand date idea for you this week. Listen up, ladies. I want you to get your mans. Put on some lingerie. Welcome him to your private masseuse parlor. Act like his masseuse and give him a happy ending. There's no better date night than a role play night. Try it out. Bye.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so we are back from Indecisive Diane, and it is time for the advice. Remember, if you would like to ask us a question on the show, you can email us askcocktails@gmail.com. Okay.
Okay, so I have one pulled up, and the title is, I Am Curious to Know. She says, hi, ladies. I am a new listener, and I must say I really love you guys and the show. I am curious to know, do you guys think that the content that you all share on Cocktails may be one of the reasons neither of you guys has yet to meet your soulmates? I am all for women being open with their sexuality and sexual experiences, but from my own dating experience, I think that has been one of the reasons I have yet to meet mine. For example, as soon as the discussion of sex comes up and the guy learns that I am more open and experienced with things that a lot of women aren't, their interest shifts. Their offering of dates becomes, can I come over to your place? And my sex is the only thing that they seem to care about from then on. Mind you, I don't entertain the topic of sex until after a good number of dates. Time spent and when I am comfortable and see they are interested in something serious. However, it just seems that men expect wifey material to have less of a sexual experience than them. So, what do you ladies think? Should I lie about my past, or should I look for a man that's more open to women being just as much a sexual being as them? Hell, do they even exist? Sincerely curious to know your advice.
Ooh,
I think that's a really great question.
I do think that cocktails has something to do with it. I think that some guys will talk about like wanting this woman who's this free thinker. They don't really mean that shit. They don't. I don't think you should lie about who you are, but I do think maybe keep some things to yourself for a while. Don't just like have diarrhea of the mouth with everything about you. You just kind of have to let that out maybe a little bit slower, or just exercise some patience, because there may be one guy out there and you guys are a perfect match, but you're going to probably have to go through like a lot before you ever find him. But don't just flat out lie. Just keep it to yourself. Especially if like you change about how you are, what you think or whatever, just keep it to yourself. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I definitely think, to answer this one quick, I definitely think cocktails is one of the reasons why neither of us has something serious going on right now. But then I also, and I got this advice from someone recently, like a dating coach, to ask yourself, do you believe that you're going to find the man that you want? Do you think that you're worthy of it? Or sometimes when you bring up the sex, are you like, he's going to not like me anymore when I bring this up? I do think that sometimes the way you think can develop the reaction or how someone is going to treat you. So I think it's important to know, like, do you think you're worthy of it? Because if so, you definitely shouldn't lie about the things that you want and you're looking for, because then you're going to get exactly the opposite. And I think he's out there. There's so many men in the sea. That's what they say. There's a lot of fish in the sea. I don't know exactly where they are, but the people say there is someone for all of us. I think it's just very important to try to stay positive about it, even when it gets hard.
Good luck, girl.
That's really all I can say about that. Because even with this, it's like, even if we ever stopped doing cocktails, it's still out there. I also went on a dating show. What am I supposed to do? Sit in a corner and be like, I guess ain't nobody gonna ever want me. All they want me for is my pussy juice. Like, I can't think like that.
That would be depressing.
It also goes back to when you said, are you around the right type of people? The lady that I spoke with, she was like, there is a man out there somewhere that doesn't mind a woman who talks about sex. So maybe try to put yourself around men that are more open-minded in a real way. Not they just talking shit, talking about, I want a woman that speaks her mind.
Okay,
no, you don't.
A lot of men do not want some free-thinking woman. They don't want you to speak your mind. They want you to say what they're thinking.
And they want you to behave a certain way.
And I think if it doesn't feel natural and you really got to work on it,
like
don't do the shit, because that's not you. And you're probably going to end up resenting this person, you know? Good luck, girl. Let us know if you meet somebody.
Good luck. I hope it works out. Keep us posted. We'll keep you posted.
That's all we do. Pray for me. Okay. Hi, Kiki and Medina. First off, let me say I just got put onto your podcast most recently, and this upcoming week will make a month that I've been binging your episodes. I can't read today. I appreciate you two beautiful women for your talents, voice, and being transparent about your journeys in dating, sex, and intimacy. You both have become like besties in my head, and I love the energy that you exude on the Cocktails podcast, Instagram, YouTube, etc. It has been a great addition to increasing my confidence, owning my sexuality, and let's not forget, buying my sex toys. Oh, and thank you for putting me on to taste vitamins, too. I plan on getting my She Orgasms and Love Crave Vesper necklace soon. You trying to buy everything, girl. Okay, so boom, I'm 24 and similar to you both. I also pride myself on living in my truth. I'm at a point in my life where I'm unraveling and destructing the shame, guilt, and negative views that have been placed around sex, porn, dating, marriage in my own life, whether from the Black church, my family, the community around me, society, etc. That's good. That's going to take some time too, but that's good. It's hard work, but I'm finding it all the while beautiful and powerful to be getting in tune with my desires for my life, my body, my orgasms, and I want to have sex and what I want sex and dating to look like for me. I'm looking forward to where this inner work takes me, falling in love with myself, my life, and making life a fucking party in 2021. Okay, where's your question? Hold on. I thought I'm glad that we're helping you with this. But, okay. I'm always tuned into wisdom from Black women because I believe there is power in listening to stories and connecting. So, since I may never get to have this conversation with you two in person, and I know you don't have a lot of time to respond to this, not so much of a cocktail email, but I'm interested to know if you could go back and give your 24-year-old self a piece of advice right now, what would you tell her? I love you. Keep up the amazing work, and I hope that I will continue to blossom into my own version of the confident, sexy, bold, impactful women that you both are. Stay safe and stay healthy. With love. That was sweet. Okay, so the question is, what would you go back and tell your 24-year-old self?
Ooh, I would have told my 24-year-old self, focus, because you're losing it. Focus. You can have fun later. And don't worry about a relationship right now.
Yeah. I would tell myself, close your legs. And... Number one, close your legs to married men. Well, they weren't married, but close your legs. And going out is not everything. You don't have to be at every party because you're not going to be friends with any of these people in 5 years. You're not going to want to see these people in 5 years. Why are you spending so much of your time with these people? Like, you need to be around like-minded people. You need to be around your family. You need to treasure them because you don't know, like, when you won't have that anymore. This shit is going on forever. 24-year-old me. Oof. Horrible decisions. Well, thank you guys for the advice emails. Remember, if you want to send us something, send it to askcocktails@gmail.com. And now it's time to move on to the cocktails.
But if you ain't got a buck, I won't cover. Spend 100 on me, it ain't nothing. Run a double D, so stuff. Back to the point. Is there some cash in this place? If it is, I'll probably see the stats in your face, turn around. Once upon a time, not long ago, I was a hoe. Was a hoe. Was a hoe.
So if you want to send us a cocktail, you can send it to us at cocktails@atl@gmail.com. And in the spirit of like just talking about our growth and where we are and all of that, we wrote letters to ourselves today. So instead of cocktails, you will get a very intimate moment inside of our heads with these letters that we wrote to ourselves about. I don't even think you gave me an about. Just a letter to yourself.
It was just like a reflecting or just to yourself. Like,
yeah.
Whatever, y'all. We're not doing cocktails. We're doing letters to Kiki and to Medina.
Okay, I want you to go first since it was your idea.
Okay. I will go first.
Okay.
Mine's in my phone. Okay. I titled it, Live with Intention. Dear Dean, I wanted to start off by saying, whew, child, you made it through many silent battles this year. I want you to remember to forgive yourself. I also want to thank you. Thank you for always being true to yourself. Thank you for the kindness that bleeds through your veins and for giving even when you feel like you have nothing to give but a smile. Ooh, I feel like I'm going to cry.
Don't cry.
Medina, you have grown so much from the young, thoughty girl that moved to Atlanta in 2007. I hope and pray that you are proud of yourself, but not for the obvious reasons, not for the materialistic reasons. I hope you're proud of the person you are and you continue to become. With that being said, I have a couple adjustments I would like to see you make in 2021. Take more risks. Strengthen your mind and your vocabulary. Don't compare yourself. Enjoy the ride. I mean, really enjoy the ride, Medina. Learn to enjoy doing all of the things you love with yourself. Meditate every morning. Be honest with yourself and the people you allow in your space. Volunteer. I repeat, volunteer. Don't just agree for the sake of no confrontations. I've noticed you do a lot of that. Stop. Mama ain't raised no punk. LOL, but seriously, stop. Try something new every month. That project you've been working on, stop being fearful about it and just drop the product, bitch. Also, stop cussing so much. And last but not least, live with intention. Keep all of that passion and never give up on your quest for true love. He's out there and his name is Austin. Happy New Year. It smells like sweet curry and alignment. Sincerely, Medina.
Yeah, it was sounding so heartfelt and emotional, and I'm glad to know you ended it on a very light, joking note. I got these magnetic lashes on. These bitches are hanging on by a thread.
I really like those magnetic lashes.
Yeah,
when you in the struggle,
it's all.
You just have three.
I literally just have a few. Oh, the eyeliner's coming off. Well, we're just gonna work it out. Sit like this. Okay. My letter. Oop. My little notebook is falling apart. I love this thing. Okay. Kiera, my dear soul, I want you to let your hair down and enjoy the fruits of your labor. You've taken the time to look at who you were. Some moments were really low, but just remember what got you there and don't allow that energy back. What I want you to know and truly accept this year is that you deserve it. Whatever positive thing it is, it's yours. You have dwelled on things you cannot change. Extended olive branches to those who have hurt you. Forgiven people who you may not have felt would ever forgive you and moved on. But why haven't you extended that favor to yourself? You should. You deserve it. So do it. No excuses. Make the changes that you want. This year, I want you to open yourself to love now that you not only know who you are, but you're comfortable with it. Keep pressing forward and crushing your goals. Your biggest obstacle isn't anyone else. It's just you. If it doesn't serve you, stop allowing it to control you. You want happiness, so go get it. Love fully and freely. Let the hurt go. Let whatever hurt anyone has caused you or you have caused anyone else go. If they do it again, end it. If you do, accept that you'll go your separate ways. Romance, business, family, friends, it doesn't matter. Learn to let things go so that you can move forward. It's the only way to true happiness and freedom. Love, me.
I really love that we did that. That's a new thing that we've never done on the show before.
Be serious.
Like,
yeah.
Not be serious, not read a cocktail.
Sorry,
not share
guys.
a cocktail.
I mean, sex is fun, but it's not even like what I was thinking about, though, when I was looking at this. I was just really looking at, like, things. I've got to let things go. I've got to embrace, like, the good moments and stop just, like, letting them just pass me by without.
Because one thing that is true about life is it's not forever. And so I like that we did that reflection, because it's sometimes you really do have to just like talk to self real quick. It's not forever. Some people didn't wake up today. Some people aren't going to wake up tomorrow. And it's like, who wants to? I know I don't want to go out and people are like, she was always holding a grudge, or she just couldn't. She was always, she couldn't just, you know what? No, like, life's so short. Forgive.
Because
some
you're the
things
one that's going to hurt
if,
from that.
If it ain't
like
that,
whoever is holding on to the stuff and you're walking around with all this on your shoulders, you're upset, and everybody else is living their life. Like, you have to let it go. They look free and they feel free because they let it go. You got to let it go. Like, that girl never gave you your pencil back in second grade, bitch. Let the shit go. Not getting that pencil. You're 50. Grow up. She said she was going to give you another Starburst from the vending machine. It didn't happen. Oh, well. That nigga lied to you. Stop answering his phone calls.
Stop. Just stop. And y'all already know that is a lesson that this year I learned it the hard way, bro. But you really do hold the key and the power
to your future. Yeah.
Freedom.
I would like to ask the listeners, if you made it to the end, just check us. When we start saying stuff and drifting off to be like, bitch, you need to reset to episode 222, the first episode y'all recorded, because you did this whole letter. Bitch, you said you wasn't going to do that no more. Why are we still hearing old cocktails?
Medina said she was not going to fuck with 6A, but he on her Instagram story right now. Could you imagine? I'd be like,
bitch, this is what you said. Knock, knock. This is me checking you. But for real, I would appreciate it. But don't put it on your story, bitch. Put it in the DMs. This ain't for everybody. Just, internet friend to internet friend.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's it for this week, you guys. I hope that if you haven't already, you take some time to, just do some reflection, too. Ask yourself these things and write it down so you remember. And you can really look back later and say, this is what I was thinking. Have I really changed? Because sometimes, it feels like you did and you didn't until you're faced with something. But yeah, you guys, make sure that you join us on Patreon. New episodes, new bonus episodes every single Monday. And then also make sure you're following us on Instagram at Cocktails Podcast. I'm at Kiki Said So.
And I'm at
And until
Coffee
next
BB.
week, you guys, goodbye.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Goodbye.